Live here tonight with episode number 21. Got Kevin Feemster in here, but he's not a guest, he's the host. I'm the guest tonight here on ARCS Behind the Driver. Never really thought that I would be a guest on my own podcast, but here we are. So y'all get to learn a little bit about me and a little bit about ARCS. So stay tuned. We'll bring it to you live here in the studio. Episode 21 of ARCS Behind the Driver with special guest, myself, Ryan Pannell.
Welcome to ARCS Behind the Driver podcast.
Hey y'all, welcome to ARCS Behind the Driver. I almost said dirty air right there. I'm so used to it. I am weirdly your host for Behind the Driver tonight, Kevin Feemster, and our honored guest, El Presidente, Ryan Pannell, joins us.
I'm here
You're here, buddy.
as a guest. It's weird.
I bet it's extremely weird for you to be a guest on your own show, but it's kind of cool in the same time. But yeah, it's kind of exciting, man. We got a bunch of questions we're gonna go over, and we'll work on down the list. Start off with, did you have enough gas today getting to work and from work?
Yeah, it was close. We were almost a mile short, but we made it. We got back home. Man, bummer. I mean, I think what race was it that we did? It might have been high octane, where I was like, yeah, the 12 car over here, the 12 camp. Oh no, it was A squared at wherever we ran, fucking Iowa. I did the drivers meeting and I was very bummed because Blaney had that damn win. He was right there, and then just not enough fuel. I don't get it. Somebody should have been fired.
Yeah,
But
I guess they only put one cannon, and everyone else put a cannon and a half. So
I don't understand. Like, yeah, these people make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and you don't think like, hey, maybe we should put a little extra fuel in this thing just in case.
yeah,
But
yeah, you would think.
oh, what the fuck? What the hell do I know?
Nothing, just about as much as what I know.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, man. So this is my first time doing a pod, kind of in this way questionnaire kind of thing. Of course, I know you pretty well. I know a lot of people in ARCS know you pretty well, but there's still a lot of good questions that we can go through, and we can go off this list here that I got. We'll go with the first one that I see. All right. And this honestly, it's a pretty good question. When you first started, all of this, back from when you guys were on the Xbox and all that, did you ever expect ARCS to get where it's at right now?
Honestly, no. I mean, I've talked about it a little bit before in, some of the other episodes. I never expected ARCS to be where it's at now. I mean, when we first started back in 2020, we were on Heat 4. A squared was the Cup Series. Well, I mean, Heat, you had Xfinity trucks and Cup, and you had the dirt cars, but those were fun for me, but a lot of people didn't like them. But yeah, we A squared kind of started. I found a couple people online, Jaco, Briley, Thomas Andrews, a lot of people that have been here since day one. We were running on Sunday nights, and I was like, hey, I'm not keeping points. And then about 4 weeks later, I was like, hey, surprise, motherfuckers. I was keeping points, and here's the points. So, and then, of course, TNT also was going at that same time. And a lot of A squared and TNT drivers kind of were running together. And then A squared got big enough to where we actually started a truck series and an Xfinity series, and then Quiet joined the server, so we had to start an ARCA series for people that don't know what the hell they're doing. So, and then we kind of all just gathered together, and I think it was kind of initially my idea, but I ran it by Rick James and Thomas Andrews and Tom Sears, and I was like, hey, like, instead of us being like, TNT and A squared, like, why don't we join together and just have this big ass league where we all just, I mean, we're already pretty much running together, we're racing together. And they were like, hell yeah, let's do it. And so we came up with the name, Alliance Racing Championship Series, and because we were all kind of alliances. I think Rick James actually came up with the name and ended up coming up with the logo and everything. So shout out to Rick James. He kind of made ARCS. I mean, there's no telling what it would have been called if he didn't come up with that. So it's pretty cool to to go back. I mean, hell, that's 4 years ago now.
That's crazy.
And yeah, we started the ARCS server. I remember building it, and I was so excited. I mean, it was like, all right, now we can put everybody together, in this one server and we can all just communicate. And ever since then, I mean, it's just, I mean, even when we started the ARCS server, I would say we probably had 50 drivers max in that server. And now we're sitting at, I mean, we're closing in on 300 now in ARCS. So
it's crazy.
It really is crazy. But yeah, it's a blast. I mean, again, that's why I was kind of excited. Bryn Roberts was actually supposed to be on tonight, but he canceled for the 4th time, I think, this year. So maybe we'll get Bryn on here one day. But he's scheduled for next Friday, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. But, I mean, the stories that I have of ARCS memories and you know, I'm sure we'll get into some of those later on. But I have a lot of memories and a lot of stories about ARCS and just, you know, how it kind of was created. But no, I really honestly to this day, I'm amazed that, you know, we're sitting at almost 300 members in our Discord. And, you know, on Sunday nights, we're averaging 30 to 35 drivers, you know, a race. I mean, and our other series are doing very well too. OST is going to be starting up here soon. It's gonna be a blast. Yeah, they have really, really good numbers. So I'm excited for, you know, the rest of the year and for what's to come.
Yeah, man. And like to speak to you on that, like ARCS has grown up so much just in the 2.5 years. I think it's 2.5 years. It might be 3 years since I've been in here. So it's crazy to see what you've done and what not only you but everyone else that's come together and built a really, really awesome thing that you guys have and we as a group have going on. So it's really cool, man. All right, so let's move on down the list here because, buddy, we got a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of questions. So that last one was asked by Clan, aka Brian Rupert, from OG.
We had him on the podcast. That was a good one too.
Yep. I watched that one too. It was a good podcast. So next question. We'll just go on down the list. So Austin Mongold asked you, what made you become a Ryan Blaney fan?
That's it. You know, I really don't know if I really have an answer to that. I was a huge Casey Kane fan. Obviously, I because my dad was a Bill Elliott fan, and Bill Elliott was in the 9, and then of course retired, and Casey Kane took over the 9. I felt like, okay, Casey Kane's my guy, and I just liked Casey Kane's, you know, demeanor. He was really calm. He just seemed like a really good race car driver, and you know, he did very well in the 9 car, you know, for several seasons, and then I think there was some, you know, behind the scenes stuff that car kind of lost some speed, and then he obviously went when I heard, well, I guess before he went to Hendrick, he went to Red Bull Racing, you know, in the 4 car, and I think they were in Toyotas, and I was like, oh Lord, I'm gonna pull for a Toyota driver, like, Jesus Christ. But I mean, he was my driver, and he was not good. I mean, they had some decent finishes, but just the organization, I mean, it was a brand new team, and you know, they didn't have a lot of speed. And then he went to, obviously, Hendrick, and I was like, okay, now I've got to pull for a Chevrolet driver. Like, that's even almost as bad as pulling for a Toyota driver. But he was still he's still my driver, and he just never really got I think he didn't really have the support that, you know, I mean, he was on, I mean, you think about it, he was on a Hendrick team that had him, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Of course, Casey Kane's not going to get the top resources. Like Jimmy Johnson, a 7-time champion, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the most popular driver in pretty much all of motorsports, and Jeff Gordon, a living legend. So I feel like he kind of got screwed out of that deal a little bit. I mean, because you look at the 5 car now with Kyle Larson. Obviously, I think Kyle Larson is probably way more talented than Casey Kane was. But
Yeah.
that 5 car it now has all the resources. I mean, Alex Bowman, William Byron, they're not getting the same resources as Kyle Larson is. I mean, if you disagree with me, then you're lying, because it's not happening. I mean, you see William Byron finished like 24th last week. I mean,
Yeah.
at Iowa, or 23rd because Blaney ran out of gas. But I mean, but then, so when Casey came, he went to, what was it, Levine Motorsports in the 95. And I was like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, what are you doing? And he was bad. I mean, he was bad in a Hendrick car. He was going to be even worse in a Levine Motorsports. So then he finally retired, and about the time that he retired is when Blaney was kind of making his entry into the Cup Series, and obviously started in the 21 car. And I mean, he got the 21 car a win at Pocono, and
Crazy. That was awesome. I remember that race.
I remember watching that race and just thinking to myself, like, holy shit, this kid just got Wood Brothers a win in a car that really has not been competitive in a long time, other than Trevor Bayne winning the 500. But again, that's wild card. I mean, anybody can win the 500. And I'm like, wow, this kid's pretty damn good. And then he moved to Penske, moved to the 12 car, and I was like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm rooting for Blaney now that Kane, Casey Kane still runs. He runs sprint cars.
Yep.
On a weekly basis almost. But so I do like watching Casey Kane, with sprint cars. But I just when I saw him win that Pocono race, I was like, man, this kid's something else. If he can get that 21 car in victory lane. And then he moved to the 12, and I was like, you know what? He's in a Ford. I love Ford. Let's pull for Ryan Blaney, and he's been my guy ever since. And I've been in the 12 car since, pretty much since I started in ARCS, and I feel like that's like part of my identity at this point. It's like, if I'm not,
you run
12,
anything else in the 12, it's weird. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just not right if you're in anything else. I don't think I've ever seen you run in anything else other than 12.
Yeah, the only thing when I run HTL Cup on Monday night, I ran the Daytona 500 there in HTL. I was in the 15, which is actually an old number of mine. That was my number when I played basketball in high school. So the 15 does have a little bit of sentiment to me. But then I guess somebody bought my charter or something. I don't know. Blake, I guess, has to explain that, which we've tried to have him on the podcast a couple times too, and he canceled. So I think now I'm in like the 55 or 35. I don't even know. I don't run on Mondays much because that's like my one night off. So,
yep.
But
Same.
Yeah, it is weird being in a car that's not the 12 car. I don't feel right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. It is kind of poetic though. You talk about people canceling and stuff like that, and you just so happen to have the guy that runs the 21 car.
Mm-hmm.
And A Squared hosting the 21st episode. Yeah.
Hey, I don't.
Yeah, so it kind of worked out.
It's not scripted. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Who knows? Oh man, I don't think I'm gonna ask this Deegan question. You know me. If it was my podcast over, and
I know the question that you're gonna ask, and you can go ahead and ask it. That's fine, because I know my answer.
Okay. All right. You have a choice. You can either motorboat Deegan's boobs once, or hang with Blaney for the rest of his career. Hang on. Hang with Blaney for the rest of his career. Which one are you doing?
Honestly, look, y'all know that besides Ryan Blaney, I'm a huge Haley Deegan fan. Not really for her racing skill. because she doesn't really have a lot of racing skill. Although she's been doing okay this year in Xfinity. She's in a car that is going to finish 20th to 25th. It doesn't matter who you put in it. It's not a good race car. But I'm sorry, and I know I'm probably going to get shit for this, but I'm hanging out with Ryan Blaney for the rest of his career. I mean, the kid's, I say kid, he's my age or a little bit younger than me. I think he's 30, maybe 31. Yeah. I'll be 33 this November. If Ryan Blaney wants to race for another 10, 15 years, he absolutely can. Yep. I'm picking hang out with Ryan Blaney for his career. That's 10 years I get to hang out with him and drink beers and watch him win races. So I know that I'm probably get shit for that, but I mean, one motorboat, I mean, come on. That's like 35 seconds versus 10 years of hanging out with Ryan Blaney? Fuck y'all. I'm hanging out with Ryan Blaney.
Yes, I mean, weigh your pros and cons here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be the best choice. You might, I don't know.
It was kind of a rigged question, I feel like. I don't know.
I think it is.
I mean, like, you know, if we would have went a little not PG-13 with that question, okay, well, my answer might have been different, but that's not how the question came out to me, so that's my answer.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Let's work it on down the list here. All right, so this is a good question. This is a really good question because these retreats are fun. At an ARCS retreat, who are you pulling for to get stupid hammered first for pure entertainment value?
Oh man. So I've been to every single one, obviously. Which we started at Bristol Dirt, and then we went to Talladega, and then last year we went to Darlington. This year we're going to Atlanta. It's kind of case by case, honestly, but I would say, honestly, it was so much fun seeing Terry Gabbard just get shit-faced because that was the only time I really ever saw him. Toby and Briley are pretty fun when they get a little buzzed, a little intoxicated. But I would say, I don't know. That's a tough one. I would say probably overall, I would go with Jeremy because I didn't even know or think that Jeremy really even drank. But
yeah.
Dude, he was hanging with us at Talladega and at Darlington. He probably one of my funniest moments was when we passed the A squared trophy from Seth to Jeremy, and he drank some champagne and he turned it up, and everybody was like, no, don't do that.
No.
And it was too late, and he took a sip and he spit that sip. I don't think he even spit it out. The champagne just said, "Nah, we're coming back out." So that was pretty hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
We got all that on video too. We got to find that video because that shit was hilarious.
I think I still have it on my phone. To be honest, it was that was so much fun.
Man, I'm ready for this year's retreat as well. You get to go home. Are you excited about that? That'd be a question for you. Excited to go back home? I
am. I'm going back home in August. My sister's getting married, so going back home in August for her wedding, and then literally pretty much turning around the next month and coming back home again. So I'll get to go home twice in pretty much a month span. So super excited for that. I was able to stop. We went in March to Disney World with Kenzie's family. Took a week off and went down there, we drove, it was fucking 17 and a half hours from Detroit, Michigan down to Orlando, Florida. So then on the way back, we have to drive right through Atlanta. So I was like, hell, let's leave a day early and let's go, spend the day with my dad. So we went and spent the day with my dad and had my mom and my sisters and my brother all came over and we had a big bonfire and all. Tracy and Cody, all of them were there. We just kind of had a big old party. So that was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to do that again in August, and then obviously in September, I think. I don't know the exact date.
September.
But
I think it's September.
yeah. We'll
September teens. It's in the teens.
Yeah, we'll go back down there, and I think Cody's gonna come up and hang out with us at the house for a little bit. I'm trying to get Tracy and my dad to come up there and hang out with us as well. But if they don't, I'll go out there and see them. So yeah, I'm excited to get back home 2 times, pretty much in a month. So that'll be fun.
Pretty cool. Yeah, it's always good to go back home. I'm so damn close to home every damn day of my life. So
yeah,
I'm ready to get away from home.
Yeah. So. It's funny how that works. Like I lived in Georgia my whole life and then moved up here, and I'm like, damn, I miss Georgia now. Like, it's just how it works.
It's fucking cold up here, man. That's
hell. I can't. I mean, it's what June 7th today, and I go to work. We go to work this morning, and I mean, it's like 62 degrees, and I'm like, God, no shit, dude. I was at work, and in the summertime they always roll up all the roll up doors so you get a breeze in the plant, and
yeah.
I was like, man, it feels like fall in Georgia. Like I feel like I should be leaving work today and there should be a college football game on tonight. Like that's how it felt. Like I was like, this is amazing. Like this is great. In Georgia, it's probably like 115 degrees. I don't know. I didn't check the weather, but I guarantee you it's hot as hell down there.
Yeah, that's one of the good things about living up this way. The mornings and the nights are absolutely awesome, man.
Yeah, they really are.
It's really nice. That's the one best thing about being a Midwesterner.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we can go on. Oh, we got another question.
Hell yeah!
That I think involves a retreat here, and it's a pretty good one. Because this year will mark the 4th one.
Fourth corporate retreat, as Rick James likes to call them. Yep. Like we claim it on our taxes or some shit.
Yeah,
Hey, Jacket just called me a Yankee, and I'm offended. Do you hear the way I talk? I am not a Yankee. Feemster's a Yankee too, technically.
Listen, I live in the most northern state there is. I swear to God. Sometimes I question if Indiana is even considered like a Yankee state.
Yeah,
we literally are one of the most conservative.
That's true.
States in the above Kentucky and everything else. Like we are the most northern state.
Yeah, I think Indiana. Honestly, I think Indiana might have fought for the South in the Civil War. Yeah. It's to be determined. I wasn't there, but
just roll through this state one time, you'll understand.
Yeah, as long as you stay out of Indianapolis, you'll be all right.
Stay on Indianapolis. Don't go anywhere near Gary. Okay, stay out of Gary, Indiana, as well. But now the next question: of all the people you have gone to the retreat, who did you miss the most the next year when they couldn't make it?
Oh man, that's a tough one too. I really hated that Thomas Andrews couldn't come to Darlington. He was a one that I definitely missed. Donald Ray is another one. I mean, Donald Ray is so much fun. Jacket, sorry. He is. He's a blast. I mean, obviously this dude pulls up in Birmingham, Alabama. And look, I didn't do a good job of getting this Airbnb. All right, that's on me.
You guys stayed in Birmingham.
That's on me.
Oh.
It looked good in the Airbnb listing. We were in the middle. We had a house across the street that had fucking plywood on the damn windows and doors. So if that tells y'all anything. Jacket pulls up in this damn F-250. That sumbitch, it had to be $80,000 brand new. Guaranteed. Had his entire rig in the fucking back of his truck.
That's fucking awesome.
And we had it set up. So we didn't have a setup in Darlington. We broke that streak because at Bristol Dirt, I brought my shitty rig. That was before, Tom Sears didn't have iRacing when we went to Bristol Dirt. Seth didn't have iRacing. There were a lot of people when we went to Bristol Dirt. They did not have iRacing, so I brought my setup with me, and it was shitty. I mean, I had a Logitech G923. I had an old computer. It wasn't the best, but I set that sumbitch up in the basement at when we went to Bristol Dirt. Now that house was badass. It was on the river. We had a whole field beside us that we played two-hand touch football, which was another terrible decision because we're all fucking out of shape. I mean, my dad actually went to the Bristol Dirt retreat, which was, I had so much fun because, my dad loves NASCAR. That's why I'm into NASCAR. And we were going like, hey, let's play some football. My dad's like, I'll be the first down marker. Like my dad knew better. He was like, I ain't getting out there with y'all. Y'all are
for this shit.
Yeah, y'all are wild. But Thomas Andrews is definitely one. Terry Gabbard obviously came to the first one and then never showed up again. Doesn't do anything. Donald Ray's another one. Missed him at Darlington. I don't think he's going to come to Atlanta this year either, so that's a bummer. But hopefully we'll get him back to he does too many golfing and hunting retreats, so he can't take vacation for us because he's.
That's what old people do, man.
Hey, I guess. I don't know.
I'm waiting to get shit on in the comment section for that one.
But yeah, I would say Jacket, Thomas Andrews, Terry Gabbard. Those are probably the three. I'm sure I'm probably missing somebody. It's hard to keep up with everybody that goes to those things, and then doesn't go the next year. I know Jeremy has been the past 2 years. You came to Darlington with us, so it's always cool to have new people. Like this year, we got some new people coming. We got Brandon Proudfoot that's going to be there. Brian Rupert, Brandon Fetterplace.
Yep.
So that's honestly, to me, that's the most exciting is to be able to meet new people. Like I got to meet you last year. I got to meet E-Dog, who came up for, not the whole time, but he came up for a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of cooler than obviously, I miss some of the people that aren't able to go because obviously we all have lives. We can't always just, dip out for, a long ass weekend, but yeah, I'm excited for this year too because get to meet some new people and Tommy Reynolds is coming. That's one that I've never met too. So yeah, it's gonna be fun this year in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things is especially like your first time coming into the group. Like for me last year, you walk in and you're like, you start putting the faces to the voice and everything else like that, and it's one of the most surreal moments. Like, because I can, we consider each other friends, and and kind of have this family atmosphere in ARCS, and then you meet somebody for the first time, and it's really cool. It's really cool. So I'm excited for those guys. Still need to get Briley back there and Riggs, and I need to meet Jacket. All the. Just been there.
I think Riggs said he was coming this year.
Cool.
Can't confirm that. I know Briley's not. I don't think Toby is this year, unfortunately. So that's a big loss. I know Toby's been the last 2 years, so that's a bummer. But yeah, Joshua Battles in the chat. I mean, I'll send you the address to where we're staying. Come hang out with us, man. It's gonna be a blast. I think we got 15 people gonna be at the house, and then obviously like Cody and my dad and Tracy may come hang out with us for a day. So I mean, hell, come hang out with us. Come drink some beers with us. We'll be partying. Trust me. It's
yeah. We got quite a bit of land. We got a good fire pit, and I think we got a river behind us. We can go fishing. It's gonna be a good time.
I'll never forget it at Darlington. Me and D-Bucks, Dustin Painter, were the first two there. As my dog tries to sit on my steering wheel, we were the first two there, and like literally, he came and he picked me up from the airport, and I was like, "Hey man, I'm hungry. Let's go get something to eat." He's like, "All right." So we went to a place and we sat outside. We could see the beach because we actually didn't stay in Darlington because there's nothing in Darlington. So we actually stayed in Surfside, which is south of Myrtle Beach, pretty much for those of y'all.
Beautiful.
It was a great house. That was
great.
One of the better ones I picked. This year I kind of told Dustin, like, you do it. I've done this for 3 years. I don't want to do it this year. Like you handle it. Dustin has done an amazing job of getting the house, getting the tickets, getting people's payments. I mean, and I really appreciate that because after 3 years of doing that shit, it's a lot. So, but yeah, last year at Darlington, me and him, we went to this restaurant. I can't remember what it was. It was some seafood restaurant, and the server came up and she's like, "What do y'all have?" I was like, "I want your strongest drink and I want it like right now." And I had a margarita. That thing was probably this tall. And
oh my gosh,
sitting there drinking that margarita, looking
at the
one
beach.
You took
a picture of?
It was. Yep.
I remember that. I was just boarding my plane, and I seen that picture come across. And I was getting ready to fly down there. Yep.
And you had a whole damn adventure on your shit
on way home. Yeah.
I mean, your flight got canceled like 3 times, I feel like.
Yep. Twice, and then by the time I got canceled twice, finally got on it this third time from Myrtle Beach to Charlotte. Got to Charlotte, the plane was 20 minutes late, and I missed my flight back home. So then I had to find another flight home. I missed a whole another day of work. Like, I missed the day.
You ended up coming back home and staying with us another night, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. D-Bucks came back to the airport and picked me up, and I came back.
Yeah, because
stayed another night at the house.
I think it was only me. It was me, D-Bucks, and Tristan that were the only 3 that were still there. And so we went out to go. We went and ate dinner somewhere, and then that's when you were saying like, "Oh, my flight got canceled. It's not gonna. Now my flight's not till like tomorrow at like whatever it was 9 a.m. or some shit." And so we were like, "Well, shit. Do you want we can come get you? You can stay with us, another night." Yep. And yeah, I remember that. That shit was wild.
Yep. And then we got the iconic picture. I'm sitting on that little bridge that we had that went to the beach, drinking a beer. I'm like, I ain't leaving.
Yeah,
staying.
I'm staying here. Staying here for another week.
Exactly. That was a good trip. That was a really good trip. Alrighty, let's get off the retreat here. Talking about that. Oh, D-Bucks. Why is the 27 car your favorite number in ARCS?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, everybody knows. Well, maybe not everybody knows, but the history behind the 27 car in A Squared probably 2 years ago. Tyler Patterson was in the 27 car. He was a part of Bluegrass Bandits at the time. It wasn't Bandit Racing. And man, he found me any chance he could get, and I just felt like I think Atlanta was the first incident, and then I think New Hampshire was the second incident, and that's where the old saying, the 12 car never forgets. That's where that comes from. So yeah, that's where that all started. I mean, and I don't have any issues with Tyler Patterson. I mean, I don't even race with him. I don't even know if he has iRacing anymore, but that's where that came from. And poor Jack Mulkey now racing the 27. So it's just kind of an ongoing joke. But yeah, I mean, Better Place has his own rivalries as well with the 13 car now. So speaking of the 13 car, holy hell, last night in A-Rock, John Smeal was, he didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck if a baby kitten was in front of him. He was running that shit over. I think at least 4 of us throughout the night were like, what the hell, Smeal? Like, but damn if he didn't win it. So, I mean, what are you going to do? But Jesus Christ, he was, woo. I was like,
guess a win's a win.
I mean, yeah, a win's a win, but hey, you know, I like for people to drive me with respect on the track. Smeal obviously is, I don't know. I mean, he's got some people that are pissed off.
There's some people that want to wring his fucking neck after last night, it seems like.
Hey, when Dustin Painter says the trash man's got some trash to take out,
you did something.
That's not good. And when Dustin Painter says he's going to come, race the next race, which is at Watkins Glen, and he's going to take some trash out, hey, y'all tune in next Thursday because it might get a little wild.
I'm ready to watch the bus stop. I'm going to put my money on that's where it's going to happen.
I think we don't probably get out of turn 1.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too. The villain always wins.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Dogman? Is that
That's Blake
Henderson?
What did I have to ask him earlier?
Hell, I don't know.
I don't remember either. Oh, why the hell I ain't in the 12 car?
Yeah. What the fuck happened to your charter? How'd your charter happen? Remember you lost it?
Oh yeah, I lost my yeah. How the hell did you let me lose the 15? I mean, shit, I already wasn't in the 12, and now you let me lose the 15. What kind of shit-ass league you running over there? No shit, though. Look, Blake was involved in a little controversy on Tuesday when I was broadcasting. Lily Frazier in the 13 truck, under caution, just went up and just absolutely wrecked the shit out of Blake under caution. Not once, twice. And even... I was watching Lily's truck, and I was like, she's looking for somebody, and Eli was like, I think she's just trying to get back to pit road. I'm like, no, she's looking for something. Like, I know when under caution, I know when somebody's looking for somebody, and that 13 truck was looking for somebody, and she was looking for Blake, and she doored him once under caution. And I'm like, oh, yep. I even told Eli, I was like, I told you, Eli, she was looking for somebody. and then they get back going, and then she comes back and hits Blake in the rear. I mean, just smashes him right in the fucking rear end. And then like 3 seconds later, the admins finally, booted her out. But I was like, holy shit! If that wasn't a damn. I mean, I loved it. I mean, that's what racing. That's what racing's all about. Yeah, that's what you. That's how you get viewership right there.
That's how you get booted from A Squared if you do that. But hell, broadcasting it, man, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, hey, I don't have to stay up till midnight looking at that shit. Y'all run over each other. I don't care. Yeah, Blake said the 15 wasn't a full season entry. That's fair. I only ran Daytona, and I haven't run since. So. What number am I in, Blake, now? Because I don't remember. Am I 52 or is it 50? But I don't even remember what number. 33? No, the 33 was taken. I think I'm in like the 012 or some shit. I don't know. Who knows? This is really quickly starting to turn in almost to unfiltered dirty air. So I kind of love this.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? It's kind of. Yeah, I think that's just. I think it's what we're kind of used to. When both of us are on a podcast together, it's what we're used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it.
50,
Keep asking the questions and keep getting sidetracked.
Yeah. I'm in the 51 apparently, so go Kyle Busch, I guess.
The fuck you talking about, Cody? Always love to see rookie drivers on this podcast.
He's talking about Mongold.
Oh,
I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know. Mongold is kind of a rookie driver, though. If we're gonna be serious.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's true. I forgot that if Dustin Hall can't make a race because he does. Blake, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he does some like iRacing, like not maybe the Road to Pro or something. He does something with like the Coke Series or something, I think. But
no shit. Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think he does something with that. So when he's not available, so he's a Coke Series crew chief, which is badass.
Fuck.
So when he's not available, I get to sub for him in the 12 car. How about that?
Full circle.
Back home.
Back home again.
Back home again.
All right. So I know this is a big one because I don't think I've heard this story.
Oh, Lord.
What is the park bench story?
I will tell you all about the park bench story. Not many people know the park bench story. It was I was still back in Georgia, obviously. Buddy of mine that I worked with, it was a Friday night, and we were like, hey, let's go. So the bar that I would always go to was Amici. It was like it was like a pizza place. They had, some food, and then obviously they had a bar. And it was a 2-story place, like in downtown Monroe, Georgia. So the bottom floor was like mostly just restaurant. They did have a bar, but it was kind of tame. Upstairs, it'd get a little wild sometimes, not gonna lie. So me and my buddy from work, we were up there, we were drinking. He was like, hey, I got us a hotel room. The hotel was like an old school hotel right beside Amici. Literally, all you had to do was walk down the stairs, come out on the street, go like 10 feet over, walk up the stairs. There was our hotel room. So I was like, hell yeah, dude. Let's fucking have fun. Let's get lit. So obviously, I drove there from work. I parked in the back because I didn't want my car to get towed anyway. So I had, we went to the hotel room beforehand. We put all our shit there. I put my keys in there and all that. We went to the bar. We started drinking, took some shots, did all this, just got fucking hammered. I mean, we were drunk as shit. And anyway, my buddy was like, hey man, I got to call it quits. I'm going to go to the room. And I was like, all right, man, I'll be there in a little bit. I probably stayed for another hour. I knew the people that worked there. I knew the bartenders and all that. And so they were finally closing it down. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to the hotel. Well, there was a keypad to get into the hotel. I couldn't remember the fucking code to get into the hotel. So I'm calling my buddy. I called my buddy probably 15 fucking times. He didn't answer because he's passed out. He'd been drinking. Obviously both of us had been drinking. So I'm like, all right, well, fuck, I can't get. I texted him like 30 times. I called him like 15 times. He's not answering. So I'm like, all right, I'll go sleep in my car. So I walk around to the back of the buildings on because it's like a main street. Like any of y'all that have a old school like main street, That's what Monroe, Georgia is. So I walk around. I get to my car. Fucking car's locked. And I'm like, God damn, where'd I put my keys? Keys are in the fucking hotel room. So I can't get into my car either. And keep in mind, I'm plastered at this point. Like, I can't walk a straight line if I tried right now. So I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, what? God damn, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So I went behind the courthouse over there in Monroe, Georgia. And if Cody's still listening, I don't know if Cody's really ever heard this full story, but I went behind the courthouse and there was a park bench there. I sat down on the park bench because I was thinking in my head, like, all right, I got to come up with a plan here. And next thing I know, I woke up at because I stayed at the bar till probably 2 o'clock in the morning. Next thing I know, it's like 7 a.m. and I wake up, and my house at the time, was only about probably half a mile from the courthouse and from the, where the Amici, where the bar restaurant was. So I wake up and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go home. So I walked home at 7 a.m. and I walk home. I get to my house. I don't have my fucking house keys. At the time, my wife, now my ex-wife, was obviously in the house. She's asleep, so I couldn't get in my house. So I slept in a chair. So the park bench story really has two parts, because I slept on a park bench and I also slept on a chair on my back porch. But it was freezing cold. And when I fell asleep on the park bench, I was drunk, so it felt great. When I got home, I was freezing. A little bit of that alcohol had worn off. And so I get home, can't get in the fucking door. She won't wake up. She won't let me in. So that's why, I love Hardy, because he couldn't get into his house either in one of his songs, and I couldn't either. But we had a little space heater on the back porch, and I turned that sumbitch on. Bro, I fell asleep at 6 a.m. on my back porch. I woke up at 7:30. My right arm was burnt because the heater was right there on my arm, and I fell asleep, so the heater had burnt my arm. I was like a damn chicken nugget, getting blasted by this fucking space heater. I wake up at 7:30 in the morning, and I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck just happened? So I get up, and I walk back to the park bench. Listen to this shit. I get to the park bench where I fell asleep. My phone and my vape were still sitting on the fucking park bench.
Oh my god.
from when I woke up and panicked, because I woke up and panicked, and I was like, where the fuck am I? And I need to get home. So I left my phone and my vape on the park bench, went back home, slept for 30 minutes on my back porch, then woke up, walked back to the park bench. My vape and phone were still sitting there. Somehow, no one stole that shit. I get my phone, I get my vape, I go to the hotel. You know what I forgot? I remembered the code perfectly. I forgot to hit pound.
Oh.
Yep. So I typed the number and I hit pound, and the fucking door opened.
Holy shit.
And I walked right in. My keys were there. My buddy was still asleep. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So that is the park bench story for everyone that has ever wondered. No, Jacket, I don't need an intervention. I was in a rough place at that point. I still do drink, obviously, but I'm not passing out on park benches anymore. So we're doing better now. Kind of.
Yeah. We stay home now and pass out on our own bed.
Yeah, that was a rough time in my life. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the park bench story is one that that's one, like, everybody has that one story. That is my one
Yep.
story. Like, the park bench story of, and the funny thing is, well, it's not funny, but it kind of is now. The next Friday, me and my buddy were like, hey, let's go get some drinks at Amici. And so we went, and I told my buddy, I was like, we're not staying at no hotel. We're not, no. Like, I'm not doing that again. He was like, all right, that's fine. So I ended up taking an Uber from my house to Amici, and then I was like, I'm going to walk from Amici back home. Smart, you know. Had my keys, had everything with me, good to go. So we left the bar the next Friday after the bench story happened. I talked, so I'm walking home, but halfway before I get home, my buddy calls me, and his name was Evan, and super cool guy. I haven't talked to him in a while. I should text him, but he calls me, and he's like, I answer. I'm like, hello? He's like, they just pulled me over. And I'm like,
No.
What do you mean they just pulled you? Like, what? I thought you were good to drive. You said you were good to drive. He's like, I guess I wasn't. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, well, what the hell, dude? Like, what happened? Why'd they pull you over? He's like, apparently I forgot to turn my headlights on when I left.
Oh,
like,
my God.
I'm like, you. So they took him to fucking jail because he fucking was drunk. He wouldn't do the breathalyzer. So they were like, well, we got to take you to jail then. So they take him to the jail. They take him to the fucking Monroe, Georgia fucking county jail or whatever. He gets there. They're like, oh, we're overcrowded. We can't put you in the jail. So you're gonna have to stay at this hotel over there in Monroe. And I know Cody was in the chat. I don't know if he's still watching, but he stayed at the Country Hearth and Inn. It's right across from the Taco Bell, Cody. You know exactly. Yeah, it's not Monroe County. It's Walton County, actually. Walton County Jail. But Evan had to stay at the Country Hearth and Inn, and I stayed there one time. I'm not going to say why I stayed there, because I ain't getting into that story tonight. Nobody needs to know that story. That can't be aired live. Yeah. But I stayed there one time, and let's just say I was on the second floor because there's only 2 floors. But I stayed there one time, and I was walking through the hallway, and I swear to God, there was a dude out there smoking crack cocaine in the hallway. I swear to God. I mean, I don't know what crack cocaine looks like or smells like, but if I had to guess,
pretty sure what it was.
yeah, if I had to guess, it was what that motherfucker was smoking, because I walked into the door and the lock didn't even hardly lock, and I was like, God damn, I need to get a fucking 2x4 just to keep myself safe from. They had a 13-inch tube TV in that sumbitch. I tell you, that's
oh my God,
that's what that hotel was. But anyway, yeah. So that's the end of the park bench story. So thank you all for tuning into my TED Talk.
Yeah, that's a absolutely fantastic story, man. I don't think I have anything like that. I probably do. I just can't remember it.
Cody said people only go there to cheat and smoke crack. I can't neither confirm or deny that I was doing one of those two things, and it wasn't smoking crack. But yeah, dude, the bed sheets, look, no lie. y'all ever felt 20 grit fucking sandpaper? That's what the fucking that's what the fucking bed sheets felt like at this Country Hearth and Inn. And it sounds really romantic, Country Hearth and Inn.
Yeah, it's fucking.
You think it's
not.
Yeah, it ain't no Country Hearth and Inn at all. I'll tell you that was, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, she had teeth, Josh. I think she had 7 of them. So that's the bench story. Now everybody's got it. It's fucking gonna be on YouTube for the rest of my life. And
Yep.
so
Everyone can go back and watch it now.
yeah, I've told that story to a lot of people that know me, but mostly family. So now everybody knows the whole bench story. So that's a good story to tell.
Oh my gosh. Oh. All right, so Blake Henderson has a question.
Mm-hmm.
Has HTL's introduction to ABN has it had a positive or negative impact? Okay, sorry. Has it negatively impacted ARCS, or has it had a positive impact on ARCS, and why?
I don't really think that it's positive or negative, I guess. I mean, I think that HTL, obviously, you look at the Cup roster, you look at Tuesdays with the roster that we have, there's a lot of ARCS drivers in those 2 series. Josh Gaiman, Steven Oberstadt, Dale Markowski, John Hagan, Austin Mongold. I would probably race on Tuesdays if I wasn't broadcasting. And I'm sure I'm probably forgetting some people. Jonathan Adams, I mean, all of them are racing in HTL on Tuesdays, and I don't really pay as much attention to Mondays just because if I don't have that one day off, then, Kenzie's going to kill me. So, Monday's kind of my day off to where we can kind of spend time together. But obviously ABN, they are a huge partner with HTL and ARCS, which I had Carmen on last week, which if y'all have not watched that episode, please do. That was probably one of my most favorite episodes I've ever recorded. We talked about so much stuff, and we have plans to do a second episode here pretty soon. But I feel like, HTL and ARCS, it kind of feels like a little bit like ARCS and OG used to be, when they were running more than they do now, where it was really like a kind of a sister league, brother league, whatever you want to call it. I feel like that's kind of how HTL and ARCS is at this point. I mean, I would like to see more people from HTL come and run in ARCS. I feel like the seesaw is a little crooked at this point. I feel like a lot more ARCS drivers run in HTL than HTL drivers run in ARCS. And that could just be a personal opinion. I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but I know that we have a shitload of people on Tuesdays when I'm broadcasting. I see, Steven Oberstadt, Dale Markowski, all Jonathan Adams, Austin Mongold, John Hagan, all these people that like, oh shit, these are ARCS drivers, and it's been cool. I mean, I love the fact that ARCS doesn't do anything on Mondays or Tuesdays other than we obviously OST is going to be starting up here soon, so that's going to kind of take any interest from ARCS drivers to do HTL, but on Mondays anyway. But Tuesdays has always kind of been our open night for ARCS, and the fact that HTL has the trucks, which is great. I mean, especially since they updated the aero package, that race that they put on last Tuesday was a fucking blast. It had some controversy. It had some crazy shit happen, but hell, as a broadcaster, that's what you love. You love to see that kind of stuff. So I do feel like ABN has been a huge help to HTL and ARCS. But overall, I do feel like the seesaw is kind of a little sideways when it comes to, we don't really have a whole lot of HTL people running ARCS, but we have a shitload of people in ARCS running HTL, which, again, at the end of the day, I don't care. I mean, our drivers can go run whatever the hell they want to. I'm not we're not like, oh,
All
you
right.
you
Yeah.
you can't run an ARCS. I don't give a shit. Go run whatever the hell you want to. If you don't want to run an ARCS, don't run an ARCS. I don't fucking care. I mean, we're here. If you want to run, you can. If you don't, who cares? Do what you
Yeah.
want to do. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I've noticed that same thing. Hopefully this little event that we have going on in the fall kind of brings everybody together and people start racing together a little bit more.
yeah. And it looks like Blake kind of agreed with me too. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and it could just be the night. I mean, obviously Sundays you can't really get into Sundays unless you pay money and you have to be approved by admins for as far as ARCs. Thursdays right now, TNT's in the off season, so we're running A-Rock on Thursdays. You got to be a fucking champion of ARCs to be in that race. So, we got Saturdays, which is SNS with the Gen 6, but hell, they're starting their playoffs this Saturday. So, I mean, really, I think the biggest thing, honestly, that we could probably get some HTL drivers to be a part of would be when we start our Xfinity series in July on Friday nights. They were actually going to start a Friday night series. I don't think it was Xfinity cars. I think it was actually Gen 6, but they canceled that. So that might be something where we could work together and, maybe get some HTL people in ARCs. And, that's what we're all trying to do is just grow our communities and be, mesh together. So,
Yeah. Partners with each other and bounce off of each other. And
exactly. So we do have an Xfinity series on Fridays starting July 12th. So if HTL members, want to come race with us, y'all are more than welcome. I mean, I've been putting up some recruitment races, the past couple Fridays. Dale's going to put up a couple. I might even put one up after this podcast, honestly. But
hell yeah.
Dale's going to do a couple recruitment races next Friday as well. So we're really trying to put in some work and put in an effort to get some good sized fields. And Dale's been a huge help with, getting that kind of off the ground. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah. You get a lot of good things. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll be open. That SNS will be over. No racing on Saturdays, so Friday's gonna open up for me to run. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun, man. All right, so let's get to some of the normal questions.
Hang on. I gotta answer Cody's question real quick in the chat, and then I'll throw it back to you. He said, "Do wins on Pannell Speedway count as an ARCS win?" Cody, did you not break your fucking kneecap at Pannell Speedway one time when we tried to run it backwards? Because I remember having to rush you on the back of my four-wheeler back home because you broke your kneecap. So let me say no, they don't count. Anyway, continue.
You want to take like a 5-minute break?
Absolutely, I gotta pee.
I got pissed.
All right. We're gonna take a 5-minute break here. I gotta make sure I mute my mic so nobody can hear me peeing, and we'll mute your mic too. So we'll be back here in a little bit. All right, well, I guess Feemster's taking a poop. Mongold's going to bed. What a loser. I didn't keep up with the 10 comments either. Hold on. Let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait. I got to turn your audio back on.
There we go.
I'm trying to count the comments because I forgot that I was going to give $10 to the 10th comment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Jacket.
7, 8. We're at 8. We're at eight different comments, so 2 more new comments and we're somebody will win $10.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Let me make sure. Okay, we're good. We're live.
All right.
One
All
time
right,
one time I forgot to unmute myself and I was talking for like 15 minutes and nobody could fucking hear me.
That's never good.
Nah. All right, go ahead.
No. All right, so let's get into some of the normal questions here. Now we're back live. All right, so who is your favorite person in ARCS to drive around, like to race with, and why?
I don't really know if I have one. I probably have like a couple. I love racing around Donald Ray. He's just very. I mean, he's the respect he has. You know, he's gonna race you how you race him, and obviously, I race everyone with respect for the most part. So me and Jacket always have great battles. Honestly, I would say Steven Oberstadt. I don't know if he's listening or hopefully he'll watch this later on, but man, me and Steven Oberstadt for the past feels like year, and it doesn't matter if it's A squared, SNS, OST, TNT. If we are both in that race, we are literally right behind each other. Even in other series that we run outside ARCS, like he'll be like, "Oh, there's the fucking 12 car again," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, here I am." So I really enjoy racing with Steven Oberstadt. He's fun to race with. We seem to have the same skill level, so we're always around each other. But I would say probably Jacket and Steven Oberstadt's my top 2.
Yeah, Jacket's definitely up there, I think, for most people.
I agree. That's every time I ask that question, Jacket. It's usually Jacket, Dustin Painter, me, and Tom Sears are like the top 4 answers. And I like racing around Tom Sears too. He's, he knows that if somebody's faster than him, he's gonna let him go. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Who do you dread racing around? Not that you dislike them, but who is the Cody Ware that you?
Man, I mean, if you were talking about last season, I would say Daniel Michel, because he wrecked me a couple different times, and it really pissed me off. This season, honestly, I haven't really had any issues with anyone. Obviously, a couple seasons ago was the 27. I was not happy with the 27, as everyone knows. Last year was Daniel Michel. This year, I really haven't had a whole lot of issues with people on track. Maybe Brian Rupert. I'll shout him out because he didn't hold his brakes at Iowa, and I just T-boned the shit out of him. Took him to the hauler after that race that night, and showed my displeasure. But yeah, I really haven't had anybody this season that's been like a pain in the ass. Probably just because I'm so slow that I'm not around any other cars. So, but yeah, I would say probably this year I would probably say
Like as an overall between all series.
overall between all series, I would probably have to go with. God, now I see when I put people in this position when I'm the host how they don't know what to say. I would probably still say Daniel Michel. I feel like I would put probably John Hagan in that category as well. I feel like Daniel Michel and John Hagan both are way too aggressive. Like, obviously, bro, you're faster than me. There's no need to fucking put me into the fucking wall. Like, just wait till the next corner and pass me. Like, I'm not as fast as y'all. Obviously, I'm fucking 18th, 19th in points. Y'all are top 5. So just wait. Just be fucking patient and wait till the next goddamn corner and pass me there. Like, don't try and shove me into the fucking outside wall. So, just people like that. People that drive overly aggressive, and, I get it. They kind of have to because they're trying to make up spots. But, it's sometimes it just pisses people off when you do that. Like, just be patient. And so, yeah, I would have to say that's my 2.
Yeah. Yeah, we all have our few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have good drivers that you respect, but if they get put in the back, you get scared a little bit because they're going to try driving through the field.
Yes.
Seth Watson, I'm talking about you.
He's bad about it too, for sure.
But I get it. You trying to get track position back sometimes, and kind of gotta get through there. And you got drivers. I know myself. I don't have speed, but I'm always in that saving mode and saving tires and saving fuel, and you sometimes get caught up in some shit like that. But
yep.
All right, so that's your favorite driver to drive around, and least favorite driver to drive around. So let's go with like a future question here. I'm just popping them off my top of my head now. Let's say, where do you see ARCS in 2, 3, 4 years? What do you want to see?
I mean, I gotta get another beer as I try and answer this question. So luckily, I have a fridge right beside my gaming room. Might be why I'm slightly an alcoholic, but
I was trying to sober up, but I'm drinking again.
I mean, fuck it. Yeah, there's no time like the present. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I kind of look back. Like, obviously 4 years ago is kind of when we started. So when when you say where do you see ARCS in 4 years, I don't really know. I mean, obviously at some point, every great thing has to come to an end at some point, and I'm not saying that will happen to ARCS, but obviously at some point, like I'm going to want to start a family, I'm going to want to have kids, and I'm not going to be able to do this forever. I mean, I know I have hinted at retirement for the past 2 years, and I'm about to make, I think probably by the end of June, I will have made my 600th ARCS start, and that's wild. I mean, most NASCAR drivers don't have 600 starts, and this, eventually, I'm not going to be able to keep doing this. Hopefully we'll have some people that can, and Tom Sears is in the same boat. I mean, let's newsflash people. Tom Sears, he mentioned it on, well, maybe he didn't mention it on a podcast. He was in the chat, but everybody that's friends with him on Facebook knows that Tom Sears is expecting a baby girl here very soon. So he just recently got married. Tom Sears is not going to be able to be an owner for much longer. I mean, it's just the truth of the matter. So, when Tom Sears has a brand new baby girl in his life, that's his priority. I don't care what any of you fuckers say. I know that is his priority. As it would be with me as well. And that's something that I want here within the next couple years, and when that happens for me, then that's gonna be my top priority, and it's not gonna be ARCS anymore, and so I feel like if there's some younger people that are in ARCS that really have put in some effort, and maybe we could kind of let them run the show, but I don't know. I mean, I would like to say, the generic answer is, oh, ARCS is going to go to the moon. ARCS is going to have 400 drivers. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to say that because I don't really know that that's the truth. Me and Tom Sears have tried to do the best we can as owners, and obviously I've been, because he is dealing with, now he's expecting a kid and he just got married, and so he's dealing with shit. I mean, I'm more involved than he is, but there's going to be a certain point where I'm not going to be involved. I mean, I've already talked, for those that are listening or hear this, tomorrow or Monday when you're at work, I'm getting pretty damn close to being entering the Clint Boyer phase of my career of like, I don't want to race anymore. I might broadcast, a night or two a week. I will keep doing this podcast because this podcast is one of the most fun things that I do, honestly, on a weekly basis. But yeah, I mean, I feel like my time is definitely coming to an end, and it's just kind of up to the members. And if anybody wants to step up, they can step up. If they don't, then maybe ARCS dies out. I hate to say that, but I mean, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing it. Mentally it's taxing. I mean, dealing with bullshit every single fucking night. Seems like, I mean, we have a couple races that, don't have any issues, but most of our races have problems and have people that are bitching and moaning and complaining, and it never stops. And so the politically correct answer is like, yeah, ARCS will be great, we'll have 3, but the real answer is I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, I just hope that somebody can take it over when I finally decide, like, hey, I want to start a family. I want to, do my own shit, and I think that ARCS will continue, whether I'm here or not. I've had the privilege of being the owner and the president for 4 years now, and a term for a president is 4 years, so it might be time for me to fucking call it quits.
You still get the penthouse suite when the ARCS retreats come on. And
exactly.
All that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah. Well,
that's grandfathered in.
As long as I still get paid my $425,000 a year, I'll be all right.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, it's kind of like you're kind of hinting at that, like you and me talked at the other night about that kind of stuff, like how cool it would be, down the road we're in the booth and
Mm-hmm.
calling these races and watching people come up through ARCS.
Yep.
We're no longer racing, but we're watching them and we're able to broadcast them. We're able to do these podcasts and talk about them, and not have to worry about us being involved in the races and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
and we get to that point, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you think about some of our OG members, like, I mean, Tommy Withers just recently married. Thomas Andrews just recently married. Tom Sears just recently married with a kid on the way. You have a family. I am trying to build a family. I mean, all these OG people of ARCS, it's, at some point, the racing has to come to an end. And it happened with, I mean, every single one of your favorite NASCAR drivers. Jeff Gordon, retired. Clint Boyer, retired. Kevin Harvick, retired. There's fucking a whole fistful of other people that have retired. But, at some point, and to me, like, especially on Sundays, some days I wake up on Sunday morning and I'm like, fuck, I gotta fucking race. And I'm like, what would it be like if I woke up on Sunday morning and was like, you know what? If I want to race, maybe I'll pay $5 to enter and race.
Yep.
If I don't, who gives a shit? I don't have to race. Yeah,
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's one of those fine lines where I'm like, I don't know. Last year at the end of A Squared, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I came back. This year, I'm telling y'all, I know that y'all are like, oh, you've said that for 2 years now. I'm pretty much set on after this year, you probably won't see very much of the 12 car on track come 2025. It's just that's unfortunate, but that's kind of just where I'm at mentally. I mean, it's taxing. I'm working. I'm trying to be in a relationship, trying to, potentially maybe start a family. And, obviously all of y'all are my family too, but, the family at home is a little stronger than the family, on the internet. So I'm definitely not going to ever go away. I mean, I'll still be here. I'll still definitely be broadcasting. Hopefully, you can help me in the booth with some of my endeavors as it happens. But I'm looking to probably cut back pretty significantly in 2025, and I think Tom Sears is probably in the same boat. So yeah, like Kent said, send in your resumes to me, and we'll we'll look at them and get back to you in 3 to 4 business weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
We operate like NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we take our time making paperwork. Fucking Kyle Larson getting his waiver.
Yeah, 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Which we all knew he was going to get. People complain all they want, but
I mean, yeah.
I think he races for Hendricks, y'all. He's going to get a waiver.
And that's what another thing is, like, I kind of looked at Feder Place's comment. I mean, I know that obviously at the end of the day, I don't do everything correct. I'm not perfect, but I try and be fair to, all the series and everybody that races. I try and be 100% honest with everyone. And, when I do make my retirement, whether it be this year or next year or whatever, I mean, that's my decision really at the end of the day. But there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be upset, I think, or not upset, but just kind of bummed, I guess.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've been involved in pretty much every series since we started back in 2020. But, it's just, at the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck what y'all think. So I can retire whenever the hell I want to. And I do know that I am at least going to try and get my 600th start. And when I get my 600th start, I'm going to probably ride off into the sunset with my $50 pension here at ARCS and call it a career. So
I need to get that paint scheme done for you.
Yes, you do. I got to figure out. I got to update the stats and figure out when my 600th race will be. I don't know if it's going to be an SNS or A squared, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, gonna have a special scheme. I might pace the field depending on what series it's in, and then you may never see me again.
Just right off, man.
Get 600 even, and then just I'm done. That's it.
We wake up the next day and you say, you know what? Just kill the Discord. Start your own.
I've thought about that a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, but
I thought he was gonna do it a couple times last year. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's oof. Yeah, but send your resumes in. Send them to NASCAR.com at gmail.net or some shit. I don't know. Maybe they'll look at them.
Fuck that all up. At gmail.net. What the fuck, man? Oh shit. He says I nominate Dale.
Yeah, Dale would be a good one.
That would be a good one. I hope Dale's okay.
Yeah, we'll see what Dale can do for our Xfinity series this year. He hadn't really been helping out yet with these recruitment races, so hopefully next year he picks it up. But I'm just giving Dale shit. He's been a huge help. Briley's also been helping with Fridays, and we're trying to. Hopefully next week we're gonna have like a donation type race for Briley and Toby and Riggs. Obviously, they lost a good friend of theirs. We did some tribute type stuff for them in high octane and a couple other races. So that's always tough to to lose a good friend. So we're gonna try and do some donation races. If you can only donate $1, which is about all I can donate at this point,
Right, man. Where we live in.
Yeah, do it. If 10 of us race and we all donate $1, hey, that's $10.
Yeah.
That's means more than anything, to the family. Yeah, $10 isn't a lot, but hell, it's something that they can, use to help deal with, a funeral and medical bills when he was in the hospital. It goes a long way. So we'll have those set up here the next couple weeks, next couple Fridays, and hopefully Bryn Roberts is available next Friday, but I ain't counting on it. I still need to get Blake Henderson needs to be on here. Tristrand, Tristan Catania still has not been on here. Matthew Kent has still not been on this podcast. We still got a lot of people that have not been on this podcast after 21 episodes. So shame on y'all for not getting on the schedule.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, man. I will pause. I'll at least say this because I'm hosting this fucking show this week. So, everyone do kind of keep everyone in ARCS. It's been a rough, 10, 12 days for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that beyond the racing and everything, kind of ARCS community, ARCS family kind of thing. We all do try to take care of each other, always try to be there for each other. I know with deaths and families and friends, and just, terrifying news, for some, just keep everyone in your thoughts and prayers, and just, have each other's backs and pick each other up. I think it's one of the most important things that ARCS has going for it. We always seem to pick each other up and keep moving forward. So
for sure. Yep, couldn't agree more. We're a family at the end of the day. Like I said, when when I say I'm retiring, I'm never going to leave ARCS. I'm not going to leave the server. I'm not going, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I have a lot of very, very, very close friends because of this bullshit racing we do. So, never going to be out of it. I just, going to shift my focus, just like some of the drivers that you see now in the booth on Sundays and Saturdays. I'm kind of wanting to do the same thing. And, I honestly, I love broadcasting probably more than racing. I mean, I feel like I'm better at broadcasting. Well, I know that because I'm not very good at broadcasting, but I suck at racing. So I know that I am better at broadcasting than I am racing. So, I'm going to kind of shift my focus in 2025 and try and get some, try and make ARC some money by broadcasting. Obviously no plans have been made, but I've been partnering with ABN, broadcast-wise, and I've had a blast so far. So looking forward to continuing that partnership and then, maybe getting ARCS out there, for some of our leagues and maybe even outside of our leagues to bring new people in. So I'm excited for 2025, but got to finish this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're only halfway through, buddy. So
fuck. Yeah.
Boil up.
It's only
There's a lot going on.
It's fucking June. We got to get to December before I can retire.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. You got to hit that threshold of the transition from 24 to 25, buddy.
Well, the problem is I'm going to get to the end of 24 and I'm going to be at like 628 starts and I'm going to be like,
I gotta get 700.
Fuck, I gotta get 700. And then I'm gonna be like, well, fuck, I gotta get 800. And then I'm gonna be like, well, fuck, I gotta get 900. And then I'm gonna be like, well, fuck, I gotta get 1,000.
Yep. I mean, 1,000 is a good number. I mean,
1,000. I don't think no NASCAR driver in history has 1,000 starts. So
in their entire lifetime.
Yeah. Well, maybe I am coming back next year. I don't know.
You're averaging 150 races a year, buddy.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
In ARCS. That's fucking crazy.
I'll be 55 like Jacket and Dustin, turning my 2,000th start in ARCS. Ugh. No, thank you. No. I'll call it quits at 600. I think.
Yeah, probably a better choice.
But yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap this bad boy up.
Yep, I'm ready. I got to go to work tomorrow, so.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I know.
That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
That's a bummer. It really is.
That is a bummer. I don't. So
well, thank you.
I got baseball tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that sucks too. So, I mean.
Yeah. Kids.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get used to it.
Well, thank you for hosting. I appreciate it. I mean, 21 episodes now, and I never thought that I would be on my own podcast. So that was pretty cool. I had fun.
Yeah, I'm glad I seen you when you tagged me when I did, because I was about to make plans. I was like, you know what? No, I'll do this. We'll do this tonight.
Hell
Everything you do for us, so I could jump in here and do my best at trying to keep it PG-13 ish.
Yeah, I
compared to Dirty Air.
It definitely wasn't a Dirty Air podcast. But
yeah, we kept it. We did not go into that realm, so we're good there. So.
And hey, we're only at like an hour and 40 minutes. So, I mean, look, I don't even remember, but me and Carmen's was like almost 3 hours.
Yeah, it was so good. It was such a good podcast that it felt like it was like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
like it felt like how long we've been talking.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
It didn't feel like long at all. And I happened to just look up and I'm like, holy shit, we're almost at 3 hours. Like we probably should wrap this thing up. Like it was an awesome podcast.
Extremely good podcast.
All right. Well, I'll reverse, the whole reverse. I'll let you say your last statement, then you can exit out of Discord, and then I'll close us out. And hell of an episode. Thank you for being the host. It was nice to be able to answer questions instead of ask the questions.
Yep. Shoes on the other foot's kind of a little different, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for asking me to do this, man. I always have fun at doing this stuff. Kind of, I feel more comfortable in this setting than I do in a racing setting most of the time, behind the mic and kind of thing. So I enjoyed it. Thanks for asking me. Thanks for everyone in the chat. It's always nice to see the community coming out and responding to us. Makes it a little bit easier. Thanks to all the questions. Made my life a hell of a lot easier for all you putting those questions in the Discord for me to ask. So, but thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Anytime, anything, just ask. But
For
appreciate
sure.
it, man. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. See you, buddy. All right. That was Kevin Feemster, our host tonight for episode number 21 with myself, Ryan Pannell. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being a part of the chat. We had some really good numbers from what I could see, at least from Twitch. Make sure you watch it on YouTube as well. Subscribe to ARCS Racing Networks as well if you haven't already on YouTube. We're trying to get to that 500 subscriber mark. Obviously, it's a long ways away. I think we're at like 115 right now. So if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. Just helps get us closer to being able to make a little bit of money to put back into ARCS for, racing and series and lobbies and stuff like that. So thanks again to Kevin Feemster for being the host tonight. I kind of put him on the spot last minute because we had a cancellation. So I was like, well, hell, let's see if I can find somebody to ask me some questions. So I had fun, had a blast. Thank you all for tuning in. That's going to do it for ARCS Behind the Driver, episode number 21 with the one and only ARCS owner and president, Ryan Pannell. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week, hopefully with Bryn Roberts. HTL Truck Series is off this Tuesday, so you will not see or hear me on Tuesday. But again, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next Friday, hopefully with Bryn Roberts. After that, the schedule is wide open, so shoot me a DM if you want to be on the podcast. We'll get you scheduled up. And thank you all again. Really do appreciate y'all.
Welcome to ARCS, Behind the Driver Podcast.